Vigets, hey, what's up, guys? What is going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. Barcelona versus Almeria. So, obviously, I don't watch Barcelona specifically in particular. I don't follow La Liga. I do watch Barcelona when they're playing Champions League. I try to watch because I think they have a really sweet team, a really, really nice team. But I've been, yeah, more or less disappointed from time to time. Anytime I've watched them play, it's not as exciting. It's not as penetrating football. It's not vertical football. It's very much to the sides. It's very much to the back. And it sometimes can be monotonous. It could be banal football that I'm watching for Barcelona. So the only reason I caught this game because a lot of people were just stomping on Barcelona because of how they almost lost and the difficulty that they had against the last place team in La Liga that hasn't won a single game. And yeah, I'll be honest, if I'm a Barcelona fan, and these are Barcelona fans, by the way, if I was a Barcelona fan, I'd be upset too. I'd be pretty upset too. Coming from a neutral point, it is. I wouldn't say it's worrisome because that's the thing. Like they're in third place. I don't see anything about being as long as you're in top five. I think you're good. I think you're great. But I do understand the worrying nature of a Barcelona fan when they're not in first place, right? Or they don't look like they're on their way to win the title. Having said that, I mean, what can I say? The thing that drew me to actually watch this game was actually when they were talking about Rafinha and the way he celebrated. I said, "Oh, I got to get in on this. I got to watch this. I got to check this game out." And I did, and I thought it was the funniest thing. It kind of reminded me of you guys remember Coutinho when I think he did that. I think he did this or he did this one. I don't know, one of those where he was trying to silence his critics because he was having a bad season, and ended up leaving the club after that. I don't know why you got to do that when you just scored a goal after I don't know a couple months that you haven't scored. Now, if you scored 30 goals and it was the end of the season, then yeah, by all means do that. Do whatever gesture you want to silence your critics, but that doesn't mean that that you've arrived. That doesn't mean that you're playing well. This game actually was the one game that I saw Rafinha. I don't know what word to use. Decent in the realm of just football. Not decent for Barcelona because I still think he's a very mediocre player for Barcelona and should be let go of. He should be sold immediately, ASAP. But yeah, he distributed the ball. He scored a goal. He centers the ball. I mean, he's got a really nice shot, Yeah, not all the time, but yeah, the centers. I mean, he provided the first goal, right? The assist. But man, is he slow? How is that possible as a winger? I do remember my problem with Mars when he came onto the scene was he looked slow and he just looked very frail, right? Very, very, very fragile. And but he was so smart on the ball. It would not lose the ball. Then again, you're playing for City. You have all this support around you. How could you can't afford to lose the ball in the first place, right? But Rafinha, man, just this was the 30th minute, maybe the 20-something minute where he got a yellow card for holding on to the guy. And had he let go of the guy, had he let the guy just run with the ball, if you're a winger and you got to have an average speed of just, I don't know who, Coman, all right? You got to have that. That should be your average speed as a winger, especially for a top club. He would have caught up to the guy, right? And he would have avoided getting that yellow. And then there was another play too where it was a foul, grabbed onto the guy because he wasn't going to be able to catch up to him, even though he's faster without the ball, right? Or so goes the theory. And just around, I mean, he's just a very poor player. Had he been playing for Almeria, I would not have a problem with him. If anything, I'd be like, hey, big teams, you better watch out for that guy. He looks promising, but he just doesn't. There was that one play where I can't remember who it was that sent him a long ball from out back. I'll give him that. It wasn't an easy ball to control, but again, at that level, playing for a big team, you should be able to bring the ball down, kind of like the way Sergio Roberto did. Kind of like the way Sergio Roberto did, from the Lewandowski pass. Even though that was a shorter pass, but still, case in point that you should bring the ball down because you're that elite player, you're a Barcelona player, and he just doesn't have that. And then the icing on the cake for me, I don't know if this is the case for anybody else, but just seeing him being subbed by a 16-year-old, that just kills me. That floors me. Like, that should not be happening. I know it sounds irrelevant, sounds negligible, but you should not be. No, they should not be at that point depending on a 16-year-old taking your place. You should be one of the most lethal players up top, right? So overall, this game, I saw Barcelona, especially the first half, holding up to possession really, really well. But sometimes too well. That's all they would do. That's all they would do. There was no point of holding on to the ball except just holding on to the ball for the sake of holding on to the ball. Nothing would come out of it. Nothing would come out of it. And then, yes, the mistakes, the errors, the Araujo, even though that first goal, I wouldn't so much blame it on him. I know I could see why, people would criticize him for that. You got to be on your toes. You got to be sharp. I mean, super, super sharp. And he just didn't expect that dummy from, I think it was Arribas, and ended up, rebounding. He ended up swinging his leg a little too late and giving it right back to Arribas who then ended up giving the through ball to, I think it was Batistao. And then the header with the goalie, that's both their fault. That was the goalie's fault as well. But I think the problem there was the goalie thought that he was going to get to the ball anyway. He was going to grab onto the ball, and Araujo, obviously, it was too late not to jump. He was already in the process of jumping. So yeah, there was mistakes there. The first half also, there was a mistake with Araujo, and he was I don't know what he was complaining about. He was calling for an offside, I think, and it was a cross from Almeria that he ended up swinging, and it just went right through, like nutmegging himself right through his legs, and ended up going to the Belgian player. I can't remember his name for Almeria, who ended up shooting, and I think it was a block, but it was a close chance for Almeria to score early on in the game. There was that. There was Cancelo giving the ball away two times to one of the forwards. Just really bizarre. Just right. I mean, very obviously giving it to the defender, under no pressure whatsoever. Araujo also giving it, doing some weird motion with his right foot and then fouling Arribas, I think it was, towards the end. It's just weird stuff. And towards the end, when it was already 3-2, they could have tied this. Almeria could have tied this. And yes, a last place team that hasn't won a single game ends up tying third place Barcelona. Okay, and it was I think it was at a center or something, and Baba for Almeria ends up heading the ball, and really good save by Peña from Barcelona. So there were just some mistakes. I mean, some very amateur mistakes. No idea of what's going on. And again, for me, mostly it was just holding on to the ball just to hold on to the ball. And this is in the first half, the first 20-30 minutes. Second half, there was a good 10 minutes maybe of Barcelona looking very vertical, looking very driven. When what's his name came in, Torres came in, provided a little bit more of a dynamic to the attack. I definitely agree. Joao Felix was, the thing with Joao Felix is he's got this little, he's got a heel flick. He'll get past somebody else. He'll do a clever play he'll eventually get past somebody. But then after that, he just disappears. He's not in the field. So he needed to come out. Torres coming in, doing really well. But then Romeo coming in and not marking. I think he was the one that wasn't marking Baba towards the end, and could have ended up tying the game. So just and then missing the ball, missing goals. Lewandowski. I mean, for me, Lewandowski's just past his prime. That's just what happens. But in these opportunities, because he has no pressure, nobody's really on him, and that one center from Sergio Roberto, where he ends up shifting it to his left instead of kicking with his right. And for me, the thought behind that was that the defender was going to block it, so he decided to do the dummy or whatever, and poison himself for his left foot, but ends up giving a right to, I wouldn't say giving a right to the keeper, but ends up giving the keeper no other chance. But where's he going to shoot it? To the second post or the first post, right? And then I think he had another one too where he could have scored. No, I'm thinking about the header with Lewandowski. Lewandowski with the header, which was really good effort by Lewandowski, and Gundogan he actually touched it. I think he grazed it just a little bit, and he was just right in front of the goalkeeper. Plays like that you got to score. There were a lot of that. So for me, the comparison that I like to make as I'm watching them, it was simply, oh, I mean, at least it's not Man United. I can't help but think of Man United that just when you see them play, they've got nothing. How is this team even floating and staying in top 10? You know, they should not be in the top 10 in the EPL, considering how well other teams play. You know, the bottom of the league teams, or, you know, those lesser known teams. But Barcelona, they look like they have a good squad. It's just they're not gelling well. It's not a well-oiled machine. I don't know what's going on in the training. Like, I haven't watched Barcelona obviously at all. I don't know what's going on. If you check out their YouTube channel, do they show training? Maybe should check that out to see what exactly are they training, right? Because they just seem like that they're playing for the first time. Some people like Joao Felix that I like, just seems like he's not sometimes invested in the team. When you see Torres play, you see Torres, he wants to be out there and he's got a lot of energy, right? Maybe that's because he's coming. I don't know, but something is definitely amiss in this team. But it looks such a good team. You know, there's sometimes you see Cancelo, you know, it looks so smooth on the ball, so silky on the ball, and sometimes that silkiness is a bit too much. You know, he wants to do one or two, three little skills and, you know, megs and, you know, juking the guy instead of just center the ball already, man. Just center the ball already. So yeah, I thought they didn't do that well. To me, my theory is like my thought process is, you know, if you're in third place and it looks like they might stay there, I don't see them, you know, going. Well, yeah, there is a chance that they might go below that the way they were playing against the last place team. But that's the thing too. What's beautiful about football is that they're gonna play against Real Madrid, and it's gonna be an entirely different team with the same players, right? Because the intention is behind. Even though, yes, that intention, that same desire and hunger should be there against lesser known teams, a team like Almeria, right? But yeah. But anyways, I dug the game. I thought it was a really good game. I thought they did well, and Rafinha wasn't as mediocre as he tends to be. So anyways, guys, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.